What is up, you guys? Glitchiz here, coming at you with another Dauntless video, and today I have one of the coolest builds that I've made yet that I want to share with you guys. It is a support build, which is definitely not the meta right now. Pretty much the meta from the beginning of time has been damage over everything, but what people are starting to realize really quick with the new Dauntless Reforged update, especially in Escalation, is that we need a little bit more support. And people are dying a lot easier now, especially with the, I wouldn't say bugs, but the issues with queuing for Escalation and the hunting grounds, with people joining these 10 to 50 high tier escalations with only like a level 1 or 2 weapon. So this build that I'm bringing you today is a heavy support build that does really good damage still, that will keep these under-leveled players alive, but at the same time still dish out a lot of damage and help you complete these tasks at the same time. I'm really excited about it. It uses a lot of cells and things that typically aren't used, so there's a lot of chances for this to switch the meta up a little bit. And I think that if there's one thing that I've learned with this patch, it's that we all need to adapt a little bit. People are so used to just using Iceborne and Discipline and cells like that to do these half-life builds that do a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but still have the potential to die on occasion, especially if you're under-leveled for that zone. So being a higher level player, I can get away with still doing decent damage, but having a build that also supports all the other Slayers that are in my party. And that's what I'm going to show you here today. So if we jump into it, this is what I'm calling my Twilight Paladin build. I call it Twilight Paladin because it's really good in the Twilight Sanctuary, the highest level hunting ground, but it's really good in all of the escalations, and I'll explain why here in a minute. I'm also going to go in depth on the math behind it. I have all the math written down. I tested it for the last few days in the hunting grounds and in the training grounds just to check out the numbers and make sure everything worked. But let's check it out. First things first that I want to go over is actually the lantern, because the big thing with this build that is going to focus around is shielding. So first things first is we have the Skarn lantern. Not many people use this lantern, but it's really underrated in my opinion. And I'll explain why in a second because of the combination with the cells that we're going to be using. So the Skarn lantern's instant effect grants a 250 hit point shield for 6 seconds. And the hold effect surrounds a Slayer with Swirling Stone that deals 900 Terra damage to nearby enemies over 10 seconds. Now, you're probably thinking, that's not a big deal. 250 shield, yeah, it's about a quarter of your health if you don't have tough. But you combine +6 Guardian, which does 60% of your health shields to your nearest ally. And when you do that, 250 times 60%, even then it's not that much. But we also have Zeal, and now this is the cell that not many people use. So I don't even have this maxed out. It's at 55%. Highest it can go is 65%. So with 65%, your lantern tap effectiveness is going to be increased by that amount. So 65% of 250 shield on your lantern brings your shield up to 413 HP shield that it will give you. Now with Guardian, +6 Guardian, 60% of that 413 HP shield will be given to your nearest ally. So 413 HP shield times 60% is 248. So about 250. That's almost a quarter of a full health bar without toughness that you're instantly giving to your nearest ally just by the tap of your lantern. Now, the other cool thing about the Skarn lantern and the weapon choice that we selected is they're both Terra weapons, and the Skarn lantern does Terra damage. So between the damage you're doing from your weapon and the lantern, Terra has the chance to proc this basically elemental effect where after so much Terra damage is done to the behemoth, it can create these healing orbs that will start spewing out of the behemoth and heal all nearby allies. So that's another cool thing, is the hold on your lantern will help boost the Terra damage output that you're doing to proc that healing orb effect more frequently. Now, the other thing we have is +6 Etheric Attunement. Now that gives us plus 50% lantern charge from our attacks. So every time we attack, our lantern charges are getting 50% more charge rate per hit than it normally would, which is going to increase the speed at which we can summon this hold effect, doing more and more terror damage, which in return will proc that healing effect more often. But then we go into the weapon, and for the weapon, I'm using the Poisonous Thorn, which is the Terra Escalation legendary weapon. Now, this legendary weapon is also a Terra weapon, so it's going to be adding to that Terra proc damage, but its unique effect, which is our really good support ability, can revive all slayers in a small radius and creates a healing of effect area on the ground that heals them over time. But that's not it. You can also use its ability while you are downed. So if I get knocked out somehow, which I'm telling you right now will almost never happen, at least in Escalation, maybe during the high level hunts, if you get one shot by something randomly, you can use this unique ability while you are down to revive yourself as well as any other down teammates, and do the area of effect healing to get them all quicker at the same time. And you also get immunity to stagger while it's taking place as well. So that's a huge support ability that you can use, basically that resets on every behemoth kill. So that's really cool. The other thing is we're bonding the Skarn weapon to it, which, as I'm sure you guys already know, gives you shields, chance to do shields based on the damage dealt. So you combine the Skarn bond ability with Ardent Cyclone, where you're just spinning and proccing those attacks like crazy. You're going to be building a ton and ton of shields. And this is where the Guardian synergy comes into play again. All of your lantern shields and all the shields that you're going to be getting from your Skarn bond will also be giving 60% of those shields to your nearest ally. So while you're Ardent Cycloning, spinning around, going crazy, and gaining all those shields super quick, you're also going to just start seeing shield ticks going out to your whole party, just giving them tons and tons of shields. And I have some clips I'm going to show you where we can get upwards of 3,000 plus shields on our character in Escalations with the different abilities that we get. It's nuts. So for the armor, we have the Blaze Escalation Torgadoro Apex helmet. This has Zeal on it. Mine's not even maxed out, but I'm going to be giving you the math as if it was maxed out. And I'm using another Zeal to hit that +6. And that, again, is what's giving us the increased Lantern Tap ability effectiveness. So the shields that we give our teammates and to ourselves is higher. For the chest, I'm using the Nasher Cloak because that gives us toughness. And at +6 toughness, not only are we getting 50% increased healing from all sources, so when we proc the healing from the Terra damage, we're going to get more healing out of that if we're low health, or your allies, for example. But it also gives you +500 max health. So at +500 max health, when we're at full health, we have a 1600 health pool at max health, 1600 HP. Now, keep that in mind because that's going to come in a little later. Now, the next thing we have is the Shocking Grasp. This is the Nezaga gloves. Not many people use these, but that's what's going to give us the Etheric Attunement. I have Etheric Attunement in the slot and in the gloves themselves. That is what's going to help us charge our lantern faster with every attack hit. And then last but not least, we have the Skarn legs, the Pillars of Stone. And that is where our Guardian perks are coming from. So +6 Guardian to get that 60% shield to our nearest ally every time we get shields. But here is where the big change comes in. The biggest downside and why damage over everything has been the meta for so long is because when you run straight support, you don't do a lot of damage. And killing the behemoths really quickly is just as important as keeping everyone alive. Well, 2 seasons ago, I believe, when they introduced the Terra Escalation, might have been 2 or 3 at this point, they brought a new cell to the game called Tenacious. Now, Tenacious gives 2% bonus damage for every 100 HP that we have. Now, the math behind that, if we have +6 toughness, our max health pool, and by the way, with all the shields we're getting, you will most likely be at that max 1600 health at all times. So at 1600 HP, you divide that by the 100 HP ticks that you need equals 16. You take that 16 and multiply it by 2%. That is a flat 32% overall damage boost that we're going to be getting on this build. So any question about not being able to do good damage with a support build has pretty much gone out the window, because with that 32% boost, you're still going to be doing like really good damage for a support build. But that's not it. The second part of Tenacious Cells is for every 50 shields that we gain, we get 1% bonus critical strike chance. Now, as you've seen throughout this build, we get a ton of shields. Now, this counts for every shield that we give ourselves. It's going to count for any shields that we get from our friends in Escalation that may or may not have, like Torrent Shield, for example, giving us shields. All of our shields total, whatever our total shields are at the time, that is the bonus critical strike chance. So here's the math behind that. Now, typically, you're at like 1,500 plus shields, but I'm going to go through the different tiers and I'll show you in the clip how we can get 3,000 plus at some points, but I'll do it at 1,000, 2,000, and 3,000 just to give you a range and be fair with it. At 1,000 shields, with 50 dividing by 50 shields per tick to get that bonus, that is a 20% critical strike chance. So even at a low rating of 1,000 shields, and we'll have much more than that, we're getting flat 20% critical strike chance on our hits. At 2,000 shields, we're getting 40% critical strike chance on hit. And at 3,000 shields, which we can get above that, we're looking at 60% flat critical strike chance on our hits. That means that more than every other hit that you do is going to proc a critical strike. And when you're doing Ardent Cyclone and you're spinning around like crazy, yeah, the normal numbers aren't that much, but you're doing ticks like every half second. I mean, you just see the numbers flying up. Every other number is going to be a critical strike. That's at 3,000 shields, or even at 2,000 shields, you're just shy of every other hit being a critical hit. So you're doing double the damage, which is insane. And that is, or double the crit on that damage. But then you take in the 32% damage bonus we're getting with Tenacious as well, and you can see how that will combine and do crazy amounts of damage even with a support build. But that's not the only thing. As I mentioned, in things like Escalation, they have some really cool perks that you can get. So if we run over here, and hopefully my game doesn't freeze for some... You didn't see that. How about we just take this? We'll run over to the Escalation tier here. So at every Escalation, there's a perk called Torrent Shield. Now, with Torrent Shield, you get a plus 300 health shield to all Slayers for 15 seconds on your Lantern hold. Now, if you remember, on our Skarn Lantern, the 250 point shield, which turns into a 413 hit point shield with Zeal, is our Lantern tap ability. Now, if we upgrade the Torrent Shield perk and grab that perk as soon as we see it in the Escalation, now our Lantern hold will also give us a 300 shield. But because we have Guardian, that 300 shield will also do 60% of that to my ally, my nearest ally. So you can see how all of this synergizes, and all of these shields not only are boosting our own damage, our own critical strike, and our own overall shields, but with Guardian, 60% of all the shields that we're getting is going to our nearest ally, and with Torrent Shield, to all of our allies. So all in all, it's just crazy the amount of damage you can do for a support build, and you're almost at max health the entire time, and your teammates, regardless of level, are typically at max health with shields the entire time. So without any further ado, let's jump into some actual gameplay, some Escalation gameplay, just so I can show you different times where these shields come in handy, and let you guys see for yourself. Now, if you want to go like super support, the other crazy thing, now this isn't necessary obviously, but you can do things with your consumable items where instead of these tonics, you could run a life spring pylon to help heal your teammates more. You could run a transfusion grenade to do a little damage and help heal your teammates more. You could run life drain tonic to help heal your teammates more, depending on how focused in support you want to go. That being said, you can do the exact opposite. If you don't want to be as heavy in support, you could swap out your toughness and you would have a little less damage output from tenacious, but you could throw like the molten +6 molten from a Hellion chest piece on there to give attack speed. So what you would lose in damage yourself, your whole party would gain in damage because they're all attacking faster. There's all kinds of things you can swap out to min-max how exactly you want to do it, but for a balanced damage and support, this is probably the best that I've come up with. And I didn't even bring up the +3 energy energized and +3 knockout king. The energized is coming from our lantern ability. All this does is gives us a little 20% bonus to our weapon recharge rate, and since we're using swords, that will build that meter quicker and allow us to do that ardent cyclone more frequently. And then knockout king is just a simple 15% stagger damage bonus, so you'll stun the enemies a little bit more frequently as well. So with those are just icing on the cake pretty much. But yeah, let's jump into some actual escalation footage so you can see what this is, and I will commentate over it and just show you how good this build can really get. All right, stay tuned. All right guys, so here we got the video. We got some escalation footage here to show you. I'm just playing this right off the recorded video from my desktop so I can skip through it on VLC so we don't watch the whole 11-minute escalation, but I can just jump to the key parts to show you where this build really came in handy. But let's kick things off real quick. So here's the first fight. By the way, these are all randoms. Actually, Neovilla is my buddy. He's the only one in the party I was teamed up with. The other two are randoms, and I'm almost positive I'm the only Terra shield weapon user in this party. So all these shields that we're already seeing chunking onto our teammates are pretty much all coming from my weapon. And I'm not even like trying to dodge, like I'm literally just face tanking everything, and I could have played a lot smarter, especially in this first fight. There's a little shield tick. Now watch when I hit the tick on my shield. Ready for it? Boom. See that? Neo just got like a 3rd bar of health as a shield just for my lantern tick. 260 or so shield. And we get Ardent Cyclone. Cooking needs to get close to me so he can get a shield here. I think he does in a minute. Yeah, we're at 900 plus 1000. So we've already doubled our health pool now. They're cooking got a shield there. Look how fast the shields are going up. 1700. We were just at 1000. 1800. 1900. Boom. So first behemoth down, and we got up to 1500 shields. That's more than double, almost triple our normal health pool. And all the shields that we gave to our teammates. This kind of worked out cool. I got the shield elemental summoner, which I normally never use, but because we're getting so many shields, I was like, this could probably be neat. And it actually worked out really well because we were getting so many shields that I was just proccing those elemental orbs all over the place, and they were just healing us, giving us more shields, giving us bonus damage. It was just like buffing our whole party. It was like a bard almost. Once we get to like the 3rd fight or so, you'll see that it's skip ahead here. Yeah, we just get tons of buffs from all the orbs that I was spawning. And now I don't even get torrent shield in this run until the finishing the 3rd level. Okay, everyone's got shields. Yeah, hopefully this playback doesn't skip a little bit. We're at 1500 shields. There's that little healing elemental orb. That's a good one to, if you find that in escalation with this build, that's a good one to get, because that's healing them as well as giving them shields. We give them shields and the little summoner orbs heal them. So you can see we're doing good damage. I'm just doing this to get my meter charges up. Ardent Cyclone ignores all interrupts. You can just walk right into it. There's another orb. See, we're breaking stuff like crazy. Even with a support build. We're up to 2,000 shields. We were at what, 1,500 last time? Ew. Oxen almost died there. But there he got his shield back. So now he's, see that shield health thing just chunk up a third of his health. Moving on. Here I think I take virulent impact. This is the first time that someone in the team died, but it's a good opportunity to show you the unique effect of the Terra Escalation legendary sword. As I revive him right back up and heal everyone. Oh, see, he just died. And I see Neo Villa dropping down. I think I use it right here. Oh, see, he went down. Boom. Instantly back to half health. Cooking gets filled up. Neo gets filled up. Everyone just got shields again. And by this point, by the end after this one, both me and Neo both get, look at that, Oxen almost died again. Everyone gets full shields back. And all of these elemental orbs are healing as well. Such a good combination. Didn't dodge that. He just landed right on my head. Didn't even remove my shields. That's the first time my shield popped. Ooh, that was a crispy knockdown. By the way, Oxen, I think, was like a level 5 or something sword, 6 sword. So that's why he's potentially dying a little more than normal. But we're shielding him up pretty good, despite him being that low. And we get all the way to the end. So we kill off him. Let's move forward a little bit. I think this is where I get Torrent Shield. So now our Lantern Tap and our Lantern Hold are both going to be given shields. And Neo also got it, so he's going to be giving me shields on top of his as well. So watch the damage and the craziness that goes down in this fight. Look at that. Look at all the crits. Now this is the fight where we get 3,000 plus shields on it. Look at all that. They might be small numbers, but when every one of them's a crit, it adds up. Go forward a little bit more. All right, here we are. I think we just killed Shrike, and now we're finishing off. Look at that, 2,700, and it just keeps jumping. That's triple our health pool, almost quadruple our health pool. We could take 3 1-hits in a row that would one-shot us, and we'd still be at full health. Look at that, 3,000. So you combine your Guardian with multiple people in your Escalation party having Torrent Shield, and your crit rate and your damage is going to be insane. And your shields. Quadruple our health pool right there. It's crazy. And then this is just us mopping up Agris. Yeah. Really good damage for a support build. Really stable. Keep all of your teammates alive. They always got shields. Second it goes down, another one comes back up, and it stacks. So even though that bar only looks like a little bit, that's just because that's as far as the meter will allow it to show visually. But my buddy Neo was saying he had 2,000 plus shields just from me giving it to him at 1.2. It's crazy. Yeah, so there you go. So there's some footage, just proof that this build's really, real reliable for a support build, still does good damage. And I think, and that was just me running it. I feel like with how the current meta is, if we adapted as a community a little bit more, and more mid to late game players that still have the gear and weapons to do decent damage with a support build and the proper cells started playing builds like this, it would make the gameplay experience so much better. We wouldn't be complaining about level 1s and 2s queuing into the wrong thing, because we don't know when Phoenix Labs is going to update that issue. But running support builds like this will not only make it more enjoyable and more fun for everyone in your party, because everyone's going to be staying alive and rarely ever dying, but you're still going to be doing good damage. But yeah, that's the build I got for you guys today. I plan on making another build, speed build for faster farming, so look forward to that video. But if you guys enjoyed this, if you found it helpful, be sure to hit that like button. And if you aren't already a member of the Glitch Gang, the coolest gaming community on YouTube, then consider hitting that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my future content. Also join our Discord. We're a small, tight-knit community of gamers on there, but we're growing much faster every single day. So be sure to check that out. All those links are down in the description below. But yeah, until the next time, you guys, I hope you all had a good day. See you in the next one. Peace out. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Also, if you're looking to join a killer community of like-minded gamers, then be sure to click the link in the description and join the Glitch Gang Discord server. We continue to grow every day, and it's filled with all your favorite game discussion channels, as well as several LFG channels to help you find that perfect group for your next hunt or raid. Lastly, if you're new to the channel and want to keep up to date with all my future content, then consider hitting that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Hope you all had a great day, and I will catch you on the next one.